I've traveled to the planet Earth to understand the views of influential humans. Someone told me to check out Sean of SGT Report. If Sean were here, what things hypothetically might he say? I was watching CNN the other day. Man, I can't take it anymore. They are just lying through their teeth about this Ukraine scandal. I find this scandal confusing. What is Ukraine? Ukraine is a country. Well, in theory, located between Russia and the European Union. The people of this country speak different languages and fight with each other over whether they should be influenced by Russia or the EU. So it makes total logical sense that the United States get involved to help foster democratic peace. We have made peace with the European Union. Yes, we both agree on what is the United States doing here. The northwestern half of the country speaks Ukrainian, while the southeastern half speaks Russian, specifically with Crimea, that little spot right there, having over 75% Russian language penetration. So it shouldn't surprise you then that they want to join Russia. Russia is claiming the shit on the other side of the river. Boo-hoo, Crimea River. Exactly, Crimea. Did Ukraine's president support this Russian influence? Well, he used to, before the United States threw him out.
I will read straight facts in this video so you can clearly distinguish between objective facts and exaggerated humor. So the original Ukrainian president, prior to the American coup, in early 2014, was Victoria Nuland.
By the way, some have accused me of using that robot voice to avoid having to pronounce Russian or Ukrainian names, to which my response is, Yanukovych.
He was pro-Russian and wanted to reject a European Union Association agreement.
So the United States did a coup to overthrow the pro-Russian friendly leader and put in someone who appreciates quality, American values, like IMF loans. Barrack Obama's going, I promise change. I just didn't say for America. Ukraine got a new regime.
The protests in 2014 were called the Euromaidan Revolution, but some considered them another version of the 2004 protests called the Orange Revolution.
Given his love for spray tans, it's Donald Trump's election that should have been called the Orange Revolution. How do you know Obama did a coup of Ukraine? What is the proof? So at the time, Obama's Undersecretary of State dealing with that specific region was Victoria Nuland. She couldn't possibly be spreading the deep state's empire with the name New Land.
Victoria Nuland was caught in a leaked recorded phone call, dictating to the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, who would replace Ukraine's president and his entire staff. This phone call was leaked 2 weeks prior to the coup. And so it showed the world the high level of influence the United States had in this supposedly grassroots organic revolution.
I'm sure the NSA is going, how could you record her?
I think Yats is the guy who's got the economic experience, the governing experience. He's the guy, what he needs is Cleach and Tony Book on the outside. He needs to be talking to them 4 times a week. That would be great, I think, to help glue this thing and have the UN help glue it. And, the EU.
No, exactly.
Did the Obama administration deny the audio recording's authenticity? Well, the Obama administration never commented on the recording's authenticity, but they did apologize for saying "F*** EU" when she was referring to how the United States, the UN, and the IMF picks would all go over the EU.
She has been in contact with her EU counterparts and of course, has apologized. But
She apologized.
For these reported comments, of course.
So you're not confirming that the comments are accurate?
I'm just not going to speak to a private diplomatic conversation, Arshad, but I'm obviously speaking to the content of the reports.
So we doubt this fake news is true. But if it is true, we apologize for the profanity. We should not have used such intense language when violating and penetrating foreign politics. Maybe she cursed so major cable networks can't play the clip. Think about it. It'd be a great new CIA strategy where they always curse. So even if the audio recording's leaked, the whole thing would be censored. Tonight, on the mainstream propaganda news, a leaked government audio recording has shocked the world. We warn you, viewer discretion is advised. The Russians have... Here's what the protesters think they're getting. Heaven will open up their gates once we join the European Union. Here's what the protesters actually get. The IMF took my kidney! But at least we could join the EU, right? Fuck the EU.
The United States gave billions in aid to the opposition party against the pro-Russian leader. But some of these supposedly peaceful democratic protesters turned violent with surprisingly American-manufactured weapons.
That is a surprise because Barrack Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize. One of the thug groups he armed is the Azov Battalion.
This battalion uses violence to promote neo-Nazi philosophy, which is the post-World War II movement to support Nazi ideology. They acted as the street thugs in this coup for the new United States puppet.
Their logo looks like a combination of the swastika and the Nintendo 64 logo. Maybe because the US thinks handing them weapons is a game. Do you not see why it's insane for, out of all presidents, Barack Obama to fund Nazis? We are honored to receive aid from the first black US president. So what will you do with our money? Kill minorities. What? We thought you were gonna play Nintendo 64. So as the Democrats do a violent coup of Ukraine, they accuse the Russians of influencing our elections. The victims of the Azov Battalion have got to be going. My limbs were ripped off by Barack Obama's Nazis. But at least we weren't subject to Russian Facebook ads. Now, according to Democrats, Vladimir Putin's own election in Russia is illegitimate. So, according to you, he can't even win his own electorate voters over, but yet he instantly convinced Democrats with Facebook ads when English is their second language. If the Democrats wanted to win, they should have run Victoria Nuland, since apparently she's real good at convincing grassroots locals. My fellow Americans, I think we can all agree. Fuck the EU. Yes, I surrender my body orifices to Victoria Nuland. Take me. Maybe that's why Rachel Maddow looks like Harry Potter, because her show has turned into a magical fairy tale. Okay, so the Obama administration did a coup in Ukraine to replace the pro-Russian president. Who replaced him?
Petro Poroshenko became president in 2014 and quickly signed the agreement with the European Union. He began immediately to take direction from the IMF on how to run the economy. While critics of his policies label it neoliberal, it is far from free market freedom to have an international bureaucracy dictate prices for gas or wages and to increase debt. The economy shrank by 6 to 12% per year for many years after Obama's dictator got in. And there was no freedom of press. Petro Poroshenko did not allow Western journalists in the country.
So the United States put in a corrupt oligarch who runs a candy company. He looks like the previous guy that they ousted. Maybe that's why they picked him, so Americans can't tell the difference. They look the same. It looks like he just aged with gray hair. Nothing new going on in Ukraine. So you're suggesting the media sugarcoats the truth. Well, that's ironic phrasing for a guy in the business of candy. But keep in mind that the Democrats put Joe Biden as the point man for the Ukraine because they expected to win the next election. So they wanted to cash in long term on the coup that put Willy Wonka into power. If only they put this much effort into America's elections, then they wouldn't be bitching about Russian Facebook ads.
VFR saying you need Biden, and I said probably tomorrow for an attaboy and to get the deets to stick. So okay. Biden's willing.
Okay, great.
This episode set the stage of the conflict between Trump and the Bidens. In tomorrow's episode, we'll learn the rest of this gripping tale. While the blue shirt twin was not in this video, most of the things said a real liberal would agree with, such as objecting to the coup. So perhaps the clothes do not make the man, and all that matters is your action. So I urge you to take action to help spread the truth. In just a few clicks, you could share this with your friends, and perhaps make the world a better place. But if not, the EU.